The sun had not risen over Nome for weeks. The world was nothing but wind, ice, and darkness. Inside the small wooden houses, parents held feverish children whose throats were slowly closing, their breathing turning into weak, terrified gasps. Diphtheria had arrived like a silent killer. No one knew exactly how it spread, only that once the gray film coated a child's throat, death usually followed within days. The town doctor, Curtis Welch, moved from house to house, helpless. His supply of antitoxin was expired. The nearest fresh serum was almost 700 miles away, across frozen rivers, mountains, and open tundra where temperatures fell to -50 degrees. Planes couldn't fly in the storm. Ships were locked in ice. Nome was about to be erased by winter. When the telegraph message finally went out, an epidemic is upon us. We need serum immediately. No one knew if help could possibly arrive in time. Then someone proposed a plan so dangerous it sounded insane. They would run the serum by dog sled. Through the worst winter Alaska had seen in decades. And the clock was already killing children. The serum arrived by train to Nenana, packed in glass bottles and wrapped in fur to keep it from freezing. From there, it would be carried by relay, one musher handing it off to the next, across nearly 700 miles of wilderness. The first to leave was Wild Bill Shannon. The wind cut through his clothing like knives. His dogs ran until their paws bled against the ice. One by one, mushers disappeared into blizzards so thick they couldn't see their own hands. Some navigated by memory alone. Others followed riverbanks in total darkness, knowing one wrong turn meant falling through thin ice and vanishing beneath freezing water. Dogs collapsed from exhaustion. Men developed frostbite within minutes. But the serum kept moving. Through howling storms. Across frozen seas. Over mountain passes where the wind could knock a man unconscious. Every mile was a gamble with death. One musher would take on the most dangerous stretch of all, Leonard Seppala and his legendary lead dog, Togo. Their route crossed the frozen Norton Sound, a vast open bay where storms could shatter ice into drifting death traps. If the ice broke, there would be no rescue. The wind screamed like an animal. Snow blinded both man and dogs. But Togo ran with perfect instinct, guiding the team across cracks in the ice, finding paths where no human could see. At one point, the ice beneath them split open. Seppala barely managed to leap the sled across a widening gap while the dogs scrambled over floating sheets of ice. One wrong move and the entire team would have been swallowed by the black ocean below. But they survived. They ran over 260 miles, the longest and most brutal leg of the relay. When they finally handed off the serum, both man and dog were near collapse. But Nome was still far away. The last musher was Gunnar Kaasen, driving a team led by a powerful dog named Balto. A blizzard erupted so violently that Kaasen couldn't see the dogs in front of him. Ice formed on his eyelashes. The sled flipped more than once. At one point, the serum was thrown into the snow, and Kaasen had to crawl on his hands and knees, feeling blindly in the storm until he found it again. If the serum froze, it would become useless. If they stopped, they would die. Balto pushed forward through hurricane-force winds, guiding the team when Kaasen could no longer see the trail. Hour after hour they ran, until the lights of Nome finally appeared through the storm like a miracle. At 5:30 in the morning, the sled slid into Nome. The serum was rushed inside, thawed carefully, and injected into the sick children. Within days, the deaths stopped. The epidemic was over. One of the babies saved that night was Gerd's Winther Baxter, who would live for more than a century, the final living link to that frozen rescue mission. The mushers became national heroes. The dogs became legends. And every year, the Iditarod race would honor the trail they carved through death itself. It wasn't just a delivery of medicine. It was one of the greatest acts of courage ever run across snow.